So you might notice that this is a little bit different than how we've handled the first part of the semester. What you'll notice each week on the home page is I will make one of these pages. So I'm going to kind of give you a preview of what it's going to look like. You'll see that this will be your home page for the week of March 31st. So what I'll do is I'll give you some videos to watch. And so this one's about creating a portfolio website. And this one is about how to create a video on, a portfolio using Wix. And I want you to begin your package on how your family and friends are effective. So everybody's going to put together a package on how your family and friends are affected, obviously, in this situation. And that way you don't have to leave your house. You can shoot everything indoors. So that is your assignment for next. And what we're going to do a little bit differently is I want you to upload a rough draft of your script on this package by April 2nd. Okay, so I'll explain why. And so the package overall is going to be due April 9th. And you're going to begin assembling your portfolio for open critique on April 7th. So let me explain to you why we're going to be doing it that way, uploading your script. Is because rather than having 5 shows, you're going to have 4 packages. So obviously we have our grades for show 1 and show 2. So what I've done is rather than having 3 packages or 3 different assignments, I'm going to have you work a little bit longer on these 2 assignments. Consequently, to absorb some of those grades, you're going to upload a rough draft of your script. And so what you'll do is, so these will be worth 5 points. So altogether, this is going to be worth 65%. Well, it's still going to be worth 75%, but overall, this piece of the pie, some of these, so this might actually be worth 12% of this grade. This might actually be worth 18%. Or 17% and 17, and then these will be worth maybe about 5 or 6%. So if you look in the rough draft scripts, this is something you upload, and then I will review. Okay. Ultimately, you can review some of the storytelling conventions that I've uploaded in modules. So make sure you upload it by the assigned date. Okay, so April 2nd. Make sure you, so otherwise I'll be looking at your scripts, I'll be making some suggestions, and hopefully you'll make those corrections before the week's out. The other thing I want to point out to you, if you look in modules, so I will also have any videos that you need to watch, the YouTube links will be available here. Okay. So take a look at the YouTube links, take a look at these videos. If you prefer to just watch them through that one page, the opening page, that's fine. But I have that redundancy built in for you. If you do not have editing software on your computer, then this is some free editing software options. So go to that website. There's a lot of different options for you. If you are shooting with your mobile phone, which is certainly fine, here are some mobile video editing apps. I've used iMovie and I've used Premiere Rush, and I've also used GoPro. So all those are fine editing options for you. So that being said, the rubrics have changed somewhat. Okay, so certainly if you're doing a package, these are still going to be in effect. If you still want to do your franchise, that's certainly fine, especially for the last package. If you want to keep with your franchise rather than the demonstration videos that you've been doing, that's certainly fine. This probably won't apply to you, so I will calculate your grade out of 80 points rather than 100 points. But still, the storytelling is going to be that much more important, okay? So again, this is where I'm going to be looking in your script because I should be able to see in your script some sort of element of good storytelling. So I will point out in your rough draft whether or not this is good structure. Okay, I should be able to have an idea what the story is about from your rough draft, from your script itself. So pay attention to this storytelling because this is going to be worth 20 points in your package. Altogether, this is about balance. So some students are getting kind of tripped up about you're making your SOTs way too long. Some of your information, some of these SOTs are better paraphrased in your own words rather than using the SOTs. So really pay attention to the structure of your story and how you're using sound bites. Are you using them effectively or not? So I am seeing a lot of students struggling with that over time. And I don't know if they're just not getting it implicitly by looking at other people's stories. If you're not seeing really the elements of good storytelling, I would suggest you going back into the modules and seeing how the professionals do it and emulate them. I'm still getting really little variety of shots and angles. I was being really gracious in grading a lot of stories in show 2 because a lot of them were just a bunch of medium shots. Okay, so make sure that you're doing wide shot, medium shot, close up, wide shot, medium shot, close up, and that they will be so a wide shot, medium shot, close up together makes up for a sequence. And so I'm still seeing some issues with sequencing. And I don't know if you've looked at the PDFs, the rubrics that I've put together, some of your feedback, but I'm still not getting proper sequencing. A lot of the video I'm getting is just wallpaper, and you're just showing jump cut to jump cut to jump cut to jump cut. And that's not what video storytelling is about. Again, I would suggest you go back into the modules, the class resources, and look in some of the lectures. I mean, I shouldn't have to be constantly reiterating you're going back into some of these lessons that I've taught before. I shouldn't have to review some of these stuff that we should have been learning in 368 and 208. Now, in terms of your audio, I should expect that you probably don't have a lavalier, and I don't expect you to. I'm actually recording this using I'm recording this directly into the computer using my iPhone, my old iPhone headset, which actually has a microphone on it, and that's certainly fine. But if you sit close enough to your computer and record directly into your computer, it should pick up fine. If you're editing on your phone, you should be able to voice your package directly into your phone. I've edited voiceovers, I've recorded voiceovers directly into my iPhone using my iPhone headset, and it sounds really, really good. So, but they should be clean. So make sure that you're getting close enough to your interviewees, and making sure that you're getting good audio from them. So your audio from your voiceovers, audio from your SOTs should be relatively clean. And again, that just gets you closer to your subjects overall. Again, sequencing, I'm still seeing some issues with editing, so you're not thinking about good sequences. So if you need to remember what sequences look like, I would suggest you're going back into looking at some of these lessons and some of these ideas of what good story to what sequences look like. Sequences are different from shots. You could have several different types of shots, a wide variety of shots, but if you're not building them into sequences, it doesn't make any sense. Again, if you really don't understand what a sequence is, I can direct you to the proper elements of sequencing. But for those people who do understand, I expect you to employ those in your subsequent packages. So also, for if you want to do a PSA, I would expect your PSAs not to be 30 seconds. I would expect them to be a minute 30. You can go through some of the creating effective PSAs. So you'll see those in previous lessons, creating better PSAs, and see how they do with them. Some people have been doing really nice PSAs, but so some of the stuff has changed, but these are going to be worth relatively the same as previously, but so there should be some sort of purpose. There should be some sort of appeal. So really plan this thing. It shouldn't be thrown together at the last minute. Your information should be clear, and there should be some sort of call to action. Also, make sure that if your graphics are somewhat cluttered, I've mentioned to several students before that you're putting your text and your graphics, so the text that you're putting over video, your font is way too small, and you're also using too many words. So make sure, so if your graphics, if you've got too much graphics, if you've got too much script overlying your video, you're not giving the audience enough time to read. You have to just use very short words, short phrases, and that's about it. I'm also seeing a lot of jump cuts and poor editing in some of the PSAs. And then, so 20 points is just the subject matter itself. So some students, now this was a problem for me last semester, but I just want to make sure that the topic itself, it's not some sort of inside joke between you and LaSalle TV students. It should be an actual public service announcement. So people like washing your hands or social distancing, these are really popular right now. So why not put a PSA together on that? Or even something as simple as like, just something related that is serving the public. That's ultimately what PSAs are doing, public service announcement. It's not a commercial. It is something that is clear, is something that is directed to the audience, and it's something that needs follow-up from the audience. Okay? One final thing I would say to you is make sure that you are shooting, if you're shooting with your iPhone, if you're shooting with your cell phone, shoot it from the landscape, not portrait. So portrait is going to be is going to be this way, and landscape is going to be this way. Okay, so your videos will still look really, really good if you shoot them in. So turn your phone on its side, and so that you have it horizontal rather than vertical. I think I mentioned that to you in the assignment itself. So make sure that you're putting that you're turning your camera on its side and shooting as if you're shooting with a video camera. All right. So starting next week, we'll be working with this specific outline. So if you want to look at this, schedule, it's going to still be available, but starting next week, I'm going to have this March 31st. This is annoying. I'm going to have this March 31st page. So these are going to be all the subsequent pages. These are going to be filled out as the weeks go on.